Hello, welcome back. Welcome to History Makers Training 2018 April. Let's put our hands together and welcome our friends. Woo! Yes, you can see how excited we are here to be back with you. So go invite your friends and share. Yes. It has been happening here at DSA Resident in Kyiv, Ukraine. And this is day 5. We have been learning. And it is my pleasure to call one of the students to tell you what has been happening. So let's put our hands together and invite student Grace. Woo, 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 woo. Hello. Please, let's say hello to the Facebook audience. Hello. Yeah, my name is Grace Jerry Esumchi. And actually, this is my second HMT training event. Where do I start? Yes. Where do I start? Let me start with this HMT, okay? Or do I start with how I met DSA? I think years back, there was an interview when I used to watch television on Revelation TV. They were interviewing this young guy, and he was talking with so much boldness and all that. I said, who is this guy? And the things that were coming out of his sense connected with my brain. So I said, okay, amazing. But for some time, I didn't hear anything about him. Later, somebody told me about HMT. I didn't really take it seriously until I saw him on Facebook. And he was actually discussing those things that were puzzles. You know, everybody in your brain right now, you have a picture. Some of those pictures, they still have missing puzzles. So for me, he was actually discussing those things I wanted someone to talk about, okay? He was not just discussing about it intelligently, discussing about it, clearly. Because I grew up as an inquisitive human being, but the people around me kind of made me feel they had this term for me, the inquisitive one has come. You tell me to do this, I'll say, why? And they will say, they will not give me an accurate answer. Particularly, in fact, it got worse when I went into church. When I grew up, I have to mention this thing. They would say, women should not wear earrings. But I see the men wearing cufflinks and putting, that clip on your tie. And I went to the pastor and said, how can you tell me not to wear earrings, but you have the same element on your suit, and he was looking at me like, why should you even question? That's the kind of thing that I grew up in the church. But anyway, there comes a young man talking about things, not just about this area, but different areas, talking intelligently about them. And I got curious, and I started. Sorry. I'm telling you, for those of you at home right now, you could be like me. Last year, April, I was watching from the comfort of my house. But for you to come, plan, make up your mind to implement what you hear him talk about in your own area, in your own sphere of influence. Now, fast forward. This is HMT, April 2018. And we were talking and doing a lot of understanding about how to transform nations. What is a nation, you might ask? Maybe when I say nation, maybe you think, oh, Nigeria, Ethiopia, Italy. No, I'm a dual citizen. I'm Irish, Nigerian. No, not just that. That's inclusive. Nation is a group of people that have similar ideology, interest. So, as a medical doctor, there is a nation of medical doctors. As a nurse, there is a nation of people that have similar interests. You speak their language. You know their ethics. You know where their pain is coming from. You can find solution to what is currently affecting them. Then on a larger scale, we're talking about your nation as well. But before you go to the nation, you start somewhere. So, Transforming Nation. One of the books I read is Transforming Nation Through the Power of Faith. You know, in this book, I discovered certain details about St. Patrick. I'm Irish and I live in Ireland. I discovered more details about St. Patrick. Guess what? I fast-forwarded it. 100 years from now, 1,000 years from now, maybe in Ukraine they will have Saint Sunday Adelaja's Day. Yes! It could be possible. Because if St. Patrick could influence the nation of Ireland to the point that his words were the foundation of some of their legislation, the same thing is already happening here. So, I decided that I'm going to be one of those people that will be celebrated one day, not by the virtue of how I look alone, but by the virtue of what I'm going to do as I get back into my community. Transformation means metamorphosis.
Yeah.
It means change. It means not as it used to be, not business as usual.
Lord Jesus.
We have done it as usual. You dress up nicely, you go to church, sing 2 fast songs, sing so song, give your tithe, give your offering, and you come back feeling empty. Feeling empty. Year to year to year to year, no change. That's what happened to me. I asked myself, I've been doing this for some time. This is not how I started. I started with the love of God. I knew God for myself, but this is not what I want. Then I stopped going to church, and I started seeking for the truth for myself. And to fast forward, just few months after coming for the first HMT, my eyes got opened enough to notice the homeless people in my community. I was sad that I've been so blind. I was sad that I was just one of those Levites walking beside the man along the road that's been battered. I was that Levite, running to church to sing.
Wow.
But I saw the homeless. No, I'm going to church. I'm going to serve God. Is that not just an image? A creation. A creation of God. What are we doing? Is that church? Is that church? Is that still church? You can't love God when you have not loved the people you see. What is the difference between those in Rotary Club? They love those that love them. That is not just love. You love those that may not even repay you.
Yes.
And in every nation, in every community, even if you live at the most beautiful place in your area, there are homeless. Because homelessness does not start when people are on the street. It starts in their mind. There are people dealing with drug addicts. They could be your president. That's why we're talking about it. They could be your co-worker. That's why we're talking about nation. Transforming nation. Changing it. Will you pause? Think about the people you've been working with. They could be faking that smile. When last did you show them love? When last did you touch them? When last did you hug them? Transformation. Not business as usual. Doing it in a different way. Doing it in a different way. Through the power of faith. Because it's by faith. You don't know if they will receive you. They could reject you. You could try the first time. They will not accept it. But as I know, you give them your number. Call me anytime you need a prayer. Call me anytime you want someone to encourage you. Transforming a nation. One person at a time. One community at a time. One nation at a time. That is what Dr. Sunday Adelaja has done here. I love listening to those people he has taught. Because one good symbol of a great leader is that you reproduce yourself. Yes. If you're a GO and there is nobody you can leave your seat for 1 year without you, the church will close
down. No more GOs.
Think about it.
Only one GO.
And to hear that some GOs have even started saying that if you don't do what I said, if I die, and so you do otherwise, cost. Is that still a church? Is that still a church? Anyway, when hunters have learned how to shoot without missing, birds have to learn how to fly without perching.
That's right.
Nobody forcing you to go where you don't want to go. Seek for the truth yourself so that when you're transformed, you can transform your generation. Thank you.
You have become a revolutionary. The history maker. I like this Igbo woman. I think that is. Okay, here we go. Babusha, you don't change again. Huh? Where is the slide?
It's coming up.
Okay, anyway, thank you so much for that review, Grace, because what you spoke about is what we are going to be talking about tonight. Faith. Yes. Yes, it's a preview. How to change a nation through the power of faith. And you already have the book, and that's what we are going to use, yes. So that was a good, yes, and practical one. Yes. Practical one. She's totally, yes. She is not just coming for HMT she came for the first time, everything changed. In fact, I even saw a live broadcast too, that she started doing, she's just as if you are not existing before all of a sudden it just appeared from nowhere. Before she was existing just for her family and her children, but now she's just like a tree that came from under the ground. Whoa, I'm here. Here I come. I think that's how all of us should evolve. Yeah. And, HMT, yes. And we're changing the world. Amen. All right. Is Chris ready?
Yes, sir. How to build a developed and civilized nation.
Yes, so that's the topic of the HMT. And today, is it not faith? Where is the faith? Is it? Huh?
You said we should do part 2 since we didn't do it.
What is part 2?
Part 2 of is dealing with conference.
Will it? No, let's do faith. We'll do faith and we'll do this tomorrow. I have announced now, can't you hear me? I was just saying that she spoke about faith and it's faith we are doing. And you went and bring back the one we did we were supposed to do for 7 o'clock. Waiting happened. Just change the title for the YouTube and Facebook. I hope the volume is good enough. Are you following the volume? Zvuk, normalnie. Okay, so let's get the topic for tonight on faith. I'm sorry, all the people wanted to meet with me today. You know, the Nigerian project canceled all my meetings this afternoon. So I would have been meeting with you while the afternoon session was going on, but you see what happened today. I had to be here. Yes. So today the topic is the role of faith in national transformation. So let's go with this, the role of faith in national transformation. We'll try to do, we know we have a long day today. You almost didn't have a break. So we'll try to do as fast as possible tonight. Okay, here we go.
The role of faith in national transformation. A country that has lost her faith in her ability to sustain growth and develop herself is a burdensome and troublesome country.
Now that's the reason why we have that problem in Africa and Nigeria. Whenever a nation, some people will say, faith, what is the role of faith? Well, you know, faith. Oh yeah. Faith is more important than raw materials. To developing a nation, when it comes to developing a nation, faith is a crucial element of it. If people don't have faith in their country, apathy will set in. Cynicism will set in. Disillusionment will come in. All those, that book, where is it? Why Nations Die? Why Nations Die? Do you have a copy there? Yes. The Death of Nations. Why countries fail. The death of nations. Countries begin to fail when faith is lost. So there are different levels of faith for a country to be sustainable. People of the land must be taught to have faith, strong faith in their destiny, in their people, strong faith in themselves as a nation, as a country. So what we see going on in Nigeria right now, which politicians are aiding, politicians are encouraging, they are bringing devastation through their speeches. And all those politicians that want to be opportunists, just talking negative about the land, about the country, they don't even know that they are destroying the very foundation of the land. You know, whenever you destroy people's faith in their own country, in their own political system, you are destroying. Yeah, you can have constructive criticism, but when you begin, the way people do it in Nigeria is so destructive. So, you know, people who run down Nigeria, and especially, I'm so sorry to mention this one here, but I have to say, but especially the Biafra people, you know, people who believe in Biafra, right? You know, it's so wrong because you are shooting yourself in the feet when you just talk all the negatives and the evil and call yourself names, and you know, you are destroying the faith of your own people. Yeah, no country is perfect, and every country has reasons to be criticized and to be run down. If you see, I also criticize, but I come out with constructive answers all the time. I always come out with solutions, not just running down the country, running down the people, running down. You know, it is fundamentally wrong. You must help the people maintain faith in their nation. And that's the problem I have with France. A lot of French people, they have lost faith. When I went to France, I've always been thinking it's like they hate the country. It's very sad, you know. And faith in a nation is very important to maintain that country. Because after you lose faith, then the apathy will come in. Then the disillusionment will come in. All the factors that are written here, why nations die, those things begin to come in. Even in Holland, a lot of ordinary people there, not interested. In Europe, all of them, they have problems all over Europe. Denmark, Finland, the same thing. You know, all over Europe also, cynicism is coming in. People are losing faith in their nations. You know, in England, maybe the white English, some of them still have faith, but the foreigners that are there, they live in the country, but they almost speak negative all the time. They almost hate. And that's a problem. Because anytime you see a country losing faith in its country, you see any country that has lost faith in the ability of itself to sustain growth, to develop itself, that country becomes troublesome. Crises begin to come upon crisis. Because no matter the problem you have as a nation, as long as you still have faith, bring them on. Bring all the problems on. As long as you have faith, you will always surmount the challenges. But once you lose faith, little problem will become a crisis. Little problem will become a trouble. So every little problem that is nothing will begin to shake the foundation of the land because there is no faith. So any country that loses faith in herself becomes troublesome and burdensome. They begin to feel like they are carrying every way. Everybody just hating one another, complaining and things like that. No matter, let me tell you, I don't know, you might not be from Nigeria, you might be from your own country, whatever country you come from, no matter the amount of problem you have, keep faith in your land. Keep faith in your destiny. Keep faith in your country. Keep faith. Because it is only on the basis of faith that you can rebuild the nation. Why? Because if you don't have faith, you will not even have the ability and the strength to begin to work. It is faith that gives you the energy to even want to consider building the nation, to even want to consider fighting, to even want to consider to begin to do something about it. But once faith is lost, faith is more important than work in that sense. Because faith is what will give you the energy to work. Faith is more important than resources. Because faith is what gives you the motivation. It's what gives you the energy. It's what gives you the energy to wake up in the morning, to go and use the resources to build the country. So once you lose faith, when you allow people in the name of the freedom of the press, when you use the freedom of the press as an excuse to make people destroy people's faith, you are digging the grave of your own country. And I don't know how I wish the whole of Nigeria could hear me. Because one of the things that Nigerians do better than any other nation is to evil speak themselves. Is to speak negative about their country, about themselves. They are destroying even the faith in their own children who are listening to them. I mean, this comes around over the media, over television. Everybody is just thinking because that's the only thing they are used to hearing. That's why they don't have creativity to be able to come up with solutions. Because they are only thinking about escaping because of lack of faith. Where is that book? How to Transform a Nation Through the Power of Faith. Because if you really love your country, don't just read this book by yourself. Make everybody you know from your country to read it. Faith is one of the most important. You see, we spoke about 2 days ago about the fact that the invisible forces, the invisible resources, they are much more important than the physical ones. This thing, what I'm talking about now, is more important than the oil reserves that we have. It's more important than all our gas and the diamond and the gold. Can you believe it if we could get all Nigerians to believe? And because you don't believe, you are divided. Because you don't believe, no force is gluing you together. But faith is like a glue. It brings about unity. And that brings about purposefulness, vision, and then implementation of that vision. Why is it that people say there are laws, but they are not implementing it? Because there is no faith. People don't implement the laws.
Lost faith in leadership.
So there are different aspects of faith that you need to have to save a nation and to deliver a nation, to grow a nation. First of all, faith in the nation. Secondly, faith in its people. Thirdly, faith in its leadership. And, I'm going to give you all of that kind of faith that you need. But we brag ourselves as being a Christian country or a religious country, But then we have so much cynicism, skepticism. What is faith? What is religion? So we are, because faith in God means faith. Belief in God means faith. And if we are people of faith, we shouldn't even be having this problem. And we could understand that in Europe, people don't go to church, they don't believe in God. So skepticism is normal. But in a nation that is 99% religious, and then there is no faith, then we don't have faith in God. We only have religion. Because if you have faith in God, you have faith in nation.
Lost faith in the people.
So we have to have faith in leadership. We have to have faith in the people.
Lost faith in the establishment and fabric of the nation.
We have to begin to have faith or build up faith in the establishment of the country, in the fabric of the country.
Lost faith in the future.
Then we need faith in the future, the vision, the future of the land.
Lost faith in posterity.
Then we have to have faith in the youth, in the posterity.
They are all a prerequisite for
Prerequisite.
prerequisite for national development and transformation.
Yes, they are all a prerequisite for national development. Faith in all those aspects are a prerequisite for national development and transformation.
Lack of faith is detrimental to any nation and a quest for self-realization and management.
It is detrimental. Lack of faith is detrimental, that is destructive for any nation and for our quest to self-realization and management. You will not be able to manage yourself. You will not be able to rule yourself. You will not be able to manage your resources. You will not be able to manage your people. You will not be able to realize your potential as a nation and as a people. Lack of faith is detrimental.
Judges 7 verse 3. Now therefore proclaim in the hearing of the people, saying, whoever is fearful and afraid, let him turn and depart at once from Mount Gilead. And 22,000 of the people returned, and 10,000 remained.
See? Bible confirms it. The story of Gideon and God confirms this. There is no national transformation, no national reformation without faith. God had interest in saving that country. God had interest in delivering the enemy into the hand of Gideon. He had the interest. It was to his own interest. He wanted to do it. Yeah, but you know he couldn't do it? And that's why he said, find out all the people who are doubt, who are afraid. And all those people who have doubts and are afraid, send them home. If you don't send them home, I cannot deliver the enemies into your hand. The people who are afraid must leave the camp now. Even though God was interested in giving them the victory, he couldn't. So when we talk about Nigeria, like today, the project that we are doing, you know, you people, because you are my disciples, so it's easier for you to support what we are saying and to see the reason. But you know, I'm going to face a lot of problems with that program. And that's not just the only program. I have various programs. But with this idea of coming to Nigeria to create a change, even church people, even my own Christian people are going to be the ones to fight me, because they are going to say skepticism is going to fight, cynicism is going to fight, doubt is going to fight. Everybody are going to say it's rubbish and it's never going to work out. So, because the country is full of skepticism, lack of faith is destroying the land. And that's why when people follow me on Facebook, people say, why is it that we don't always have too many people? Because we don't need people who don't have that faith. Let's be 10 people, but let those 10 people be people who believe in what we're doing. When you have 5,000 people, and they don't believe in the project, they will draw you back. And they will kill the thing you are trying to do. They will become a burden. Your focus will become burdensome. So, and I normally see it. I see some programs that are done in my local language, Yoruba language, not even in English. Nigerians coming to the internet to speak Yoruba to preach gospel. And they have 5,000 people watching them, 7,000 people, 9,000 people watching them. But they don't take people anywhere. They just kill your enemy, deliverance from this and that. But we are going somewhere. We need only people who have faith. So when people came to me and said, stop Mayowa from talking so harsh, because some people, you will lose people. I said, that's what I want to do. That's the whole idea. That's why I put her there.
I love that.
So that all the people that don't have faith, they could be chased away from the distance.
Yes.
And that's why I'm not going to be politically correct. Don't mention them. No, I'm going to. So that if you have doubt, you don't belong here.
Yeah.
Only people who are totally convinced, they can make history. Because people who are double-minded, the Bible says, they don't receive anything from the Lord. They are unstable like the wind. So it doesn't matter what their position is. It doesn't matter how great they are. So I'm going to keep on annoying people. There are some, if you go to the internet, there are some so dirty stories about me there. And some people are telling me, Pastor, I know I'm an IT person. Let me remove it for you. I said, no, leave them there. Let them be there, korokoro. If necessary, I'm going to put more. Because I'm playing a game. I'm playing. I know what I'm doing. It's a strategy. Because people who don't have faith must be sent back home. You see? People who have doubt must never be associated with a vision like this. So I will put things out there, minds out there, so that, because the field minds, it's only people who are careless, they will just point on it. So the same thing here. People will see different kind of news and they say, that's the way it is. Good. Bravo. God has just delivered me from another one. Only people who are so purposeful or who listen to God or who know what they are after will see the truth among all the rubbish. And they are the ones who have faith. They are the ones we need. The ones who want to tell stories, who want to just believe, good for them. God is using those things as a sieve. You sieve out the wrong ones. So don't always think that it's a bad thing when people are talking bad about you. God is protecting you. So people who don't have faith shouldn't be around you. Don't keep them just for the sake of the numbers. Don't keep them just for the sake of the church members. Don't keep them just for the sake of the crowd. They will destroy what you are trying to build. So God knows what he was doing. Even though God is all powerful, but even God will not make it with people with doubt around him. Even God. And this is not just in the Old Testament. Even with Jesus. He said, do you want to go to? Please go. Because people who don't have faith shouldn't hang around him. They will kill the vision. They will pull him back. Even Jesus his faith couldn't help it. Because when majority of the people you keep around you are people who have doubt in what you're doing, or they don't have faith, they are not on the same page, you are in trouble. So that's what is happening here. So God told him, find out anybody who is fearful, whoever is doubtful, whoever is afraid, let him turn and depart at once from Mount Gilead. And 22,000, they were 30, 22 out of 30. Out of 32. Out of 32, yes. Out of 32, 22,000. Can you imagine? Out of 30 or 32. Not half. Is that half? 2/3. 2/3 just because that is our people. But we think that 32,000 is more than 10,000. But God, if they are without, 10,000 is more than 32,000. As a matter of fact, those ones who departed, they were just the first category. There are still some other people who have some other doubts and fear inside. So God had to find a strategy to get rid of them. So at the end of the day, we are left with 3,000. And 3,000 in God's eyes is actually much more than 32,000. So there are times when minority is the majority. Oh. Small is the new big. Because if this big is having doubt and fear, then you don't have anybody.
Lack of faith is what God used to determine people who are not fit to rescue a nation.
You see, lack of faith is not always bad, because lack of faith and doubt is an indicator. That is an indication to you that those people, you don't need them; they are not needed. So, lack of faith is the criteria God used here to determine the people who are not needed. So, always thank God when you find people with doubt, because lack of faith is a determinant. It's a factor to help you to recognize the people that will be hindrances to you in the future. So don't always think that people who come to you to criticize and to attack, that they are bad. They are good. Yeah. They are informing you that those are the ones you don't need. Yes. Yes. So lack of faith is what God used to determine people who are not fit to rescue the nation. To determine people who will become hindrances to you, who will become obstacles to you. So lack of faith is a good sign. Because you don't want to keep people and waste your life and time convincing people that don't have faith. They're just killing your time and stealing your time.
1 Samuel 17, 24 to 26 and 29. And all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, fled from him and were dreadfully afraid. So the men of Israel said, have you seen this man who has come up? Surely he has come up to defy Israel. And it shall be that the man who kills him, the king will enrich with great riches, will give him his daughter, and give his father's house exemption from taxes in Israel. Then David spoke to the men who stood by, saying, what shall be done for the man who kills the Philistine and takes away the reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God? And David said, what have I done now? Is there not a curse?
Man of faith, David. It is lack of faith that disqualified the king himself. Because the king himself had doubts. A whole army of a whole nation. You see, this is one of the things that God used to encourage me when people were coming to attack me on the platform. And God spoke to me through one guy who called one time and said, Bishop John, he said, a whole nation could be wrong, Pastor Sunday. It doesn't matter if the whole nation of Africa or Nigeria will say you are wrong. It means, in this case, it means they are all wrong. A whole nation could be wrong and one person is the only one who will be right. That is strange, But when you look at this scripture, you see that a whole nation, including the king. Because a lot of people who are not even believing, following me now, they are saying, but how can the whole GO be wrong? But this GO, this bishop, all those bishops, you don't go, but God is talking to them. Now, God, they cannot all be wrong. No. But the reality is that a whole nation could be wrong. Not just some people. Not just Jews, a whole country of 100 million, 200 could be wrong. And one person will be the one who is right. And me, in my own case, I've already seen that during the election of Buhari, when all the pastors were saying that God told them it is Jonathan that was going to win. And I knew that he was not going to win. Not Godwin, was his name? Good luck, yeah. I knew that Buhari was going to win. And I knew that if all of them miss God on that one, then we are not dealing with men of God here. They are not in tune. If they are so big, then they are so close to God, and they couldn't even catch that one easy. That was so obvious that Jonathan is done. His own game was over. They said, but God cannot put a Muslim. Well, that means you are stereotyped. And that stereotype is what will going to stop you from hearing God. God can do anything.
1 Samuel 17:32-37. Then David said to Saul, "Let no man's heart fail because of him. Your servant will go and fight with this Philistine." And Saul said to David, "You are not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for you are a youth, and he is a man of war from his youth." But David said to Saul, "Your servant used to keep his father's sheep, and when a lion or a bear came and took a lamb out of the flock, I went out after it and struck it, and delivered the lamb from its mouth. And when it arose against me, I caught it by its beard, and struck and killed it. Your servant has killed both lion and bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, seeing he has defiled the armies of the living God." Moreover, David said, "The Lord, who delivered me from the paw of the lion and from the paw of the bear, he will deliver me from the hand of this Philistine." And Saul said to David, "Go, and the Lord be with you."
Can you imagine what a faith that is? Huge faith, strong faith, beautiful, beautiful faith.
Faith is a force of motion, progress, and action, creativity, and production. On the other hand, that is what David had at a time when nations' whole armies are paralyzed by the fear of Goliath.
The only faith he had. He didn't have all the superior weapons, but he had faith.
No matter the monster or Goliath standing before a nation, faith of the people of that nation can lift the reproach of Israel.
That's why we need faith. That's why this book is unsurpassable. How to transform a nation through the power of faith. And I'm glad some of you have read it. Grace, you have read it, eh? Are you encouraged? Especially seeing, I'm sure you didn't know all this about Patrick. Because everybody have been asking from your country. They don't know that he did all these things. All the people I've seen who have lived in Ireland, when, I said, you have to read this book because your eyes will open. You say, eh? And we can all do this. We can all do it.
How to accomplish this? Number one, through government or church relations. Number two.
So what does that mean? It means that we can we need to have faith. We need to teach the government that they themselves will have faith in their country. Because if the government will not have faith, they will be corrupt. They will not be working. They will be coming to, write that they are present at work at 8 and disappear for the rest of the day. They will not be driven. They will not be motivated. That's why we must have government-church relations. And I think church, who is supposed to be a representative of faith, should teach all these things. Should teach the government, should teach the whole nation about the importance of faith. Not just faith in God or religion, but faith in self, faith in the land, faith in the nation. Of course, faith in God too. But the reason I'm downplaying faith in God is that they will go and be doing religion there. I'm not talking about religion now. I'm talking about faith that is necessary to be able to function. Yes, please.
How to accomplish this? Number one, through government or church relations. Number two, seminars and conferences.
So we need to do seminars and conferences all over the nation to build and boost the faith of the people in themselves, in the land, in the structure, in the government, all over. Yeah.
3, leadership training. Number 4.
We need to do leadership training based on faith, the principle of faith. The leaders, political leaders, school leaders, government leaders, all kind of leaders in the country have to be addicted by the faith that we can make it. Everything will work out. When we are all driven like that by faith, we become like a machine.
Number 4, camping or sports events.
Youth, we need to organize campaign for youth and do sports events, but based on the message of faith. Media, Nollywood. You know, it's like we are doing art and entertainment, but you are passing a message of, like I did in this book, for those of you who have read. You know, I'm writing about a book, but I'm using an example of St. Patrick and other things, and you'll see that, wow, this is real. Go ahead.
Number 5, music. Number 6, newspaper and media. Number 7, create agencies, social and government.
To push and facilitate faith in the people, in the nation, in the land. The reason why tourism is not developed in Nigeria is because there is no faith in the land. If you believe in your country, you will attract tourism. Go ahead.
Number 7, debates.
Yes,
and workshops.
organize debates, workshops.
Number 8, entertainment or educational camping.
Sport events, yeah.
Faith is the bird that feels the light when the dawn is still dark.
Beautiful. So there is no light yet because the dawn is still dark, but faith is the bird that feels the light. You know, birds can fly in the darkness because that's that faith. That is that faith that makes that bird to fly. It sees the light through the eye of faith. Faith is what makes us to see the future and see the light even though there is darkness in the physical. Faith is what makes us to see light at the end of the tunnel. That's basically what it's saying. Mm-hmm.
3, main plague.
So things are still dark in the countries. Things are still bad. But it is faith that makes you to see what will come out constructively out of that ruin and destruction. Yeah.
Main plagues of any nation, where the people have lost.
Main plagues.
Main plagues of any nation, where the people have lost their faith in the nation. 1,
Yeah.
cynicism.
You see, what we spoke about. These 3 things are what is here in this book. Yeah. Okay.
1, cynicism. 2, disillusionment. 3,
Somebody sent me a message yesterday and said that it's cynicism. Cynicism, yeah. It's in French they call cynicism, but in English it's cynicism. Okay. So this cynicism, disillusionment, and apathy.
Cynicism can frustrate the effort.
See, I told you, when faith is lost, these are what you get. And that's why this book is unsurpassable. You will just see the whole process, how it happens. How cynicism and disillusionment and apathy kills a nation and makes nations fail and countries die. Yep.
Cynicism can frustrate the effort of any government or leader. Lack of trust in the leadership paralyzes the government and the leader.
Sad.
What is
it paralyzes the whole country. Paralyzes it completely. Go ahead.
What is cynicism? Cynicism is an attitude of suspicion where you believe the future is bleak and that people are acting only out of self-interest. Is
that not why we are running away?
Yes.
Yes.
Example, Ondo State Governor's statement of providing all things for the youth, and yet no one is going to take advantage of it because of cynicism of the government.
No, towards the government. Because even though the government is trying to do something, this is not now. This was one time when I was in Nigeria. The government was providing wonderful programs, but nobody was going there because there's so much doubt. They have so much cynicism towards the government. Anything the government offers, they just say, it's big. They just want to eat. They just want to do it for themselves. so much negativism.
Through faith, we can replace cynicism with confidence.
Beautiful.
Disillusionment. When people are disillusioned, they assume it's not what it's trying again.
They assume.
They assume it's not what it's trying again because of their past experience. So the population is lazy, avoid taxes or any form of contribution to national development.
That is catastrophic. Because, we paid before, so what did they do with it? Disillusionment. So no money is coming in, and the country is just ruined. Yeah.
Through faith, disillusionment can be replaced by optimism. Optimism.
You see? So the answer is faith to resolve all those situations.
Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence.
See? So it's this thing alone, this one word alone, faith, it has to be cultivated, propagated, maybe even legislated. And that is what America has succeeded in doing. When they are telling people, go for holidays for 6 weeks, they say, no, 2 weeks is enough. And we want to work more. Okay?
Apathy. This plague is the result of both disillusionment and cynicism, indifference to everything.
And that's just deadly.
The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything. Albert Einstein.
Apathy. Indifference.
People are indifferent to their responsibility as citizens to the nation, to their neighbor, to the environment, to national development.
You see? I don't care. Attitude.
To remain silent and indifferent is the greatest sin of all.
That's why we are talking, and that's why they don't understand us, and that's why we are going to keep on talking. Because to remain silent is the greatest sin of all.
Faith will replace apathy with mass involvement, which goes to mass production and development.
Yeah, so that's faith right there for you. Please, before we go, let's put on the light, please. I want to hear again, anybody who has read this book, I really want to hear from you because I didn't hear your first-hand report. Anyone who has read this book on faith, tell me what touched you the most from this book. Anybody coming to tell me again? Maybe Grace, you have to start all over again. Irene, you want to talk? Okay. Anybody read? Maybe even if you didn't finish it. But what touched you the most? Yeah, come again. Lemire. How did it minister to you? What ministered to you in that book?
Okay, this book, what really ministered to me is that we don't have faith until we transform nation.
That's it. My own measurement of faith is to use it to change a nation. If you don't change a nation, you are having domestic faith. It's what we call coconut faith. Or what? There is something they call there is something local candid. No, not candid. Local, not shin. There is a guguru or something they call it. I think they call something guguru or something. Huh? What? Kuli, yeah. Kuli. Is it what? Kuli faith. Because it is something that makes you to just consume. Consumable. It's candy. It's what they call that, the sneakers and mass kind of faith. Yes, it's mass bar. It's mass bar and sneakers bar. It's those the kind of faith people are having in charismatic circles. Not real faith that God requires. When God talks about, okay, he talks about Abraham, that changed a nation through faith. That's what we're talking about. And that's why he said the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac. Those are people only on the level of nations.
And these are, for me, two applications. And I will show it in different quotation of the Bible. First application is that we learn that nations are not just countries. They are also group of people with same interest.
Yes.
So it means that we all to have faith until we transform a particular group of people in the society.
Group, yeah.
Each individual Christian faith must transform a specific group of interest of people.
Beautiful.
And also in the same ideas, the book, one of the things that you underline a lot, Pastor, is just that faith is equal to result. No result,
no faith.
No faith.
You can deceive yourself as much as you want.
No result, no faith. So I started to think, and there is a quotation that is very deep, important for me in the Bible, when Jesus said that, when I come back, will I find faith in the earth? So it was then like a light. It means it just come back to see result. Will I come back to see results? Results.
Beautiful. Well said. This guy is a smart guy. Well, open it up.
So this is
beautiful. Kudos. Let me hear you are for the future. You must go with me to Africa. Yeah.
I think what taught me most in the book is that faith produces physical product and change. Because remember, faith is the substance of things not seen. So faith is the currency. Faith is the mode of exchange to bring the invisible and make it visible. Because everything you see right now was once invisible. So God wants to use us as conduits, channels, to reach a sphere of influence, a nation, produce things. I mean, since I started listening to DSA, reading books, my brain waves, inspired ideas. And that's another thing I want DSA to talk about, because a lot of ideas started popping into my brain. Now, because I was not operating, or maybe I was not aware of it, because you said we Christians were so used to when the Spirit of God comes in, we worship, we pray, but something else is hanging in the atmosphere. But because we've not been trained on how to bring it down, so ideas, inventions started popping into my mind. Now, where
is that book? Give me the book. How to how to raise the next generation of Steve Jobs and here it is. Have you read this one? Not yet.
No, not yet.
Because that's the answer.
Okay.
And the answer is here. Okay. How to convert all those anointing and spiritual experiences into concrete products. How to make from the spirit realm, how to bring forth product, physical material product into physical world, from the invisible world. That's this book out here. It's called Raising the Next Generation of Steve Jobs and Bill Gates.
So even though I'm an engineer, it was after I started reading and studying and doing the ideas, so first of all, one of the ideas that came, I went to search and I found that it was not even on the planet.
Wow.
It's not even here. So I now discovered, now there's even a process. That's why it's called faith. Even there is a process in going to register for patents, going to meet the people that will do this design, those people that will do the first model of it. Right. So these are things that, I said, okay. Now I see why people prefer to pray. That's the easy thing.
Easy?
That's the easy one. Now to bring the invisible.
Brilliant.
And bring it to the physical.
Brilliant.
That's where there's problem.
Brilliant.
People would rather do all night night prayers and singing. Because when I started researching, I said, oh my goodness, I had to call a lawyer. I want to do this. Yeah, okay, it will cost me this. Okay, then I will still contact another person that will do the design. And even the designer, you have to be specific because there are certain parts of the thing I need to be very clear. I said, okay, no wonder. I see. Because we're not meant to be lazy. No. Gray and white matters inside the skull.
Yes.
They are meant to be used. Yeah. They are meant to be exercised. Yeah. And the more you work on it, you wonder why he's writing more books. Yes. Because God said in the word of God that if you bear fruit, you will be pruned to bear more fruit.
Yes.
Unfortunately, if you don't bear, you will still be pruned.
Yes.
Why don't you be? So faith, we're conduit. There are a lot of things. Can you imagine? God is there. There are so many products. He wants to pass it through you.
Yes.
But he's even giving you ideas, but you can't even recognize.
Because you are not prepared.
Because the brain is not ready. The brain is not ready. If Africa is going to go to, even if you copy the spy and find the technology, if you don't know how to combine that with that to get that.
But is it not religion that has made that our head?
It is. Because somebody wants you to depend on them as the middleman. I'm the oga pata pata. So you cannot.
Right, God himself is not even saying depend on me. Say, do it. I gave you everything.
Yes. So, exactly. So in your area, in your field, because it is what you have already, you're skilled at, that God will reveal something to you. Let us become more inquisitive. Those ideas, when they come, when you get inspired ideas, write it down and start working on it. Thank you.
Beautiful. Excellent. Yeah. Fire in the burn. She's caught something. Yeah. All right, guys. What do we say about some people were writing from the Facebook yesterday? I read some comments like that. They are saying they are jealous because they wanted to be able to call in and contribute, but we are not going to give you that pleasure because you didn't come. If you had come here, you would have been able to contribute. But they also want to contribute. They say, but how can we also want to contribute now? Well, you are not here, my dear. It's not discrimination. It's just that you are not doing the assignment. You are only seeing the result. You are not going through the assignment and the process. Yeah. Process. Not just the result. Process. I promised to release you early today because basically you didn't have break during the afternoon because the Nigerian project took all the afternoon. So I'm going to let you go now because I have several meetings still after this session. So our lady coordinator is already here.
Okay, thank you, DSC. Let's put our hands together once more. Woo! Woo! Yes, I told you that it was going to be an awesome time. So you see it for yourself. But this is not the end. Tomorrow is going to be the last day. Yes, congratulations to the history makers. April 2018. We are rounding up the program tomorrow. So I am pleading with you to join us tomorrow. We're going to continue 10 a.m. also. So see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Let's wave to them. Woo!